Hello and welcome back. I'm Arnoux with Nick over here at my side. I messed that up, but go for it, Nick.
Hey guys, it's me, Nick, again, and we're going to be talking about our session 2, which was Act 2 and 3 of our newest playbook, Against the Machine. Arno, what do you think? How do you feel?
It was a sad
How do you
day,
feel?
Nick. It was
Yeah,
tragic.
yeah,
Some maybe more
mm-hmm,
tragic for some than others. Maybe some people will
uh-huh.
never forgive for the travesties that have occurred. Um,
Maybe, we flew too close to the sun. Maybe we've sort of figured out how to do certain things, like win matches.
did we?
Um,
Let's start with show
yeah,
2.
sure.
Let's start with show
Yeah,
2.
okay.
To be clear, for anyone
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't know Against the Machine, uh, including people who saw our last videos for this, show number 2 of Against the Machine, Act 2, Worth Your Weight in Carnage, splits up into 3 different matches. And it says, hey, you've got some wrestlers, we've got some matches. Every time someone participates in a match, they're going to get a mutation point. So that's big. You want a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in a lot of matches. That said, make someone participate in more than one and they'll be exhausted. Luckily, Rip Handsome, our boy Nick, he could participate in everything, couldn't he?
Hell yeah.
And did
Yeah,
we?
our boy. Yeah, we threw Rip through everything.
And was that a good idea?
I think, honestly, I do still believe in the Rip plan
Let me tell you,
up until the second match.
every session I believe in Rip more and more, but let's not pretend he's a winner yet. Because match 1, we took Iron Voltage and Rip Handsome and we put them in this tag match against these 2 machines, Nitro and Neon. And we had an idea. We were just going to very quickly beat the crap out of them, pin them, call it a day. Just get to
Mm-hmm.
intensity 3 as fast as we can, do a little damage, and pin them. And I don't think there's much to say. It just kind of happened, right? We just did
It
that.
did, yeah, the plan just sort of went
It
off without a hitch.
just sort of
You
came
know?
together. The dice were on our side. We rolled. There was one roll I thought was really sketchy on our side for the pin. I was like, I'm going to try it, and we're going to spend a bunch of hype on it, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to go. And the thing is, we used, in a tag match, you can leverage wits to move the spotlight to each other. Very useful between the two of us to bring the intensity up and then quickly go for that pin. But the dice were on our side. So we pinned them, and they rolled their dice, and it didn't
It was
work
a
out for
clean
them.
match.
The first
Yep.
roll of theirs to break out of the pin was really like a 50-50. It really could have not gone our
Yeah.
way, but it did go our way, and then that was it. That was the end of it. It was great. We didn't even see Neon.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even show up.
Yeah, we just tunnel visioned on the first guy and threw everything at him, I think, and just took him out. It was pretty efficient.
And the second match was against the Oracle of Data. The Oracle of Data is very interesting. It's one of the few machines that likes low intensity. It likes staying at low intensity, 1 to 3, and its goal is to stall you out and stop any reversal you do so that it can get to lights out and then just destroy you in lights out. It could roll something like 45 dice in lights out. That's not foreshadowing at all,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. And so we sent Rip
Yep.
Handsome in there, going, oh, well, we want Rip
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And I went, but will Rip be able to take him out? And Nick said, yeah, he's got some lockouts, he's got some break, like he'll be able to take him out. And Nick, how did that plan go? Did that plan also go out without a hitch?
So, listen, I think the issue here
Mm-hmm.
was I had a plan to do this match, but then I forgot that the spotlights for this match was only 8. And my plan really hitched on maybe me having a couple of more spotlights, and it just didn't happen.
To to be clear for everyone at home, 8 spotlights means your wrestler typically has 4 chances to do whatever they want to do. 4 chances.
And it just unfortunately didn't. If wasn't
There
a
was
dum
no
dum,
fortune involved, to be
if
clear.
I wasn't a dum dum and wasted like the first 2 or 3
3.
spotlights
3
on
of them.
just rip handsomeisms, I probably could have done better.
You
But
were
that
like, Spotlight
just
1, I'm gonna boast.
yep.
Okay, cool. Spotlight 2, I'm gonna dance. I'm doing some dancing. Spotlight 3, I'm gonna do some screaming. I'm screaming and I'm getting all my hype, and then I'm gonna boast again. It's like, and it was at that point in Spotlight 3 where you got all that hype and passed the spotlight where I went, wait, what? And then it got to your
Yep.
fourth, the 7th spotlight, and went, Nick, it's like intensity 3. How are you gonna take him out?
Yeah, I little I wasn't thinking. It was a misplay on my part here, and yeah, so lights out happened, and
How
this
many
guy rolled
how many
like
dice did you roll,
40
by the way,
plus
just by
dice.
comparison?
I think I rolled like 20,
Yeah, I think that's about
maybe.
right. I think you're right. I
Because
think it was
Rip
about 20.
can, yeah, because like Rip did get a lot of hype. So I was just funneling all the hype I could into this move. But like, I couldn't stop this like dude who's rolling like something like 40
Yeah.
plus
I
dice, I
think
felt
like
like, you
45 or
know?
42 dice, yes.
Yeah. So we lost that one. We got a little. I got a little too Rip Handsome crazy. Uh,
And so the last match was against the Scrapyard Shogun. And you can send anyone you want against the Scrapyard Shogun, but if he takes you out, he will first injure the heck out of your guys, and then when he takes you out, you will instantly retire. So you're only supposed to send in people who you're okay with losing. Furthermore, his amount of spotlights are based on the amount of people that you have. And if there are too many spotlights, he gets to a point where he just starts eliminating people immediately, just off the cuff as his first move of every spotlight. He's potentially very dangerous. He will attempt to counter attack. He will reversal your first like 6 moves, which is
mm-hmm.
insane. But we don't really have to deal with that too much, did we?
No, because to show a little bit, we might be the designers of this game, and maybe Arno knows every out or every odd for every move in this game, but we were like, it's probably better if we don't throw everyone in this match. But we went with the
Well,
crazy
yeah, we
idea
went with
of
everyone but
just
Iron
throwing
Voltage.
everyone but Iron Voltage. Because again, Rip isn't exhausted, so he could go into this match perfectly fine. And yeah, we did. I think this was a show out of, again, not only Bulldog, but also Zaz here.
Zaz was the
Because,
MVP in my eyes.
yeah, because he got that pole and dazed him.
Yes.
And I think from there,
He didn't
that's
daze
where
him with the
we.
pole, to be clear.
Oh, was it
He
not
dazed
that?
them
I
with
thought it was
quick
the pole.
distraction,
That's what
which
it
is what
was. Yep.
damaged himself to the point where he was at like 3 break and 3 fatigue. Zaz was beat
Mm-hmm.
up, but with quick
Yeah.
distraction, he was able to daze him and pass the spotlight to, who was it? Who finished him?
I think it was. It had to have been either Bulldog or Rip.
Maybe it was
I would say.
Bulldog. It
I
was a
want to say it
pin,
was Bulldog.
so I think it was
Yeah.
Bulldog. I think Bulldog slammed him in the ground. I think Titan Bomber is his move. So he used Titan
That's what it
Bomber
was. Yeah, he Titan
and
bombed him.
just
Yep.
took him out. And typically, he would reversal that kind of stuff. However, Zaz being able to daze him just dazed the Scrapyard Shogun. We Titan Bombered him, and it was another situation where actually the odds were quite good that he would break out, but he didn't. And we
Yeah.
took him out. And it wasn't like first round, to be clear. He did get some turns. I think there was some
Yeah, he got
spotlight
like I think
stealing
like 2 or
that
3.
happened. Yeah. So he did pummel some people, but Zaz was really able to get a bunch of hype, pass the spotlight to the man who needed it. And at this point, at the end of show 2, Zaz picked up moves to even better do that. He picked up a trait, a gangster trait, that allows other people to spend his hype. So now he can build up all this hype and pass it on to people, or pass the spotlight on and pass the hype with it, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the key moves that I think we used to pretty good effect in Act 3 here.
Well, we tried to anyways. Don't let that be foreboding. Iron Voltage got his mutation point, and I said, screw it, he's got 2, let's roll it, let's see what we get. And I got that same, it's the most common thing to get, by the way, to replace a move or a trait you have. Now the thing is, Iron Voltage had back against the wall, which meant while he was injured, he did more damage. But I was thinking about it, and I went, we don't really need him to do more damage. We just need him to be there and to hold the line. And so I switched that out for a striker trait, which normally you can't have on a powerhouse without some extraordinary measures. But mutation points allowed us to do it, and I gave him jump start. And that allowed him, while it was intensity 3 or lower, to get hype equal to his drive, which was very high. So he became his own hype engine to sort of make up the difference and make sure he was intensifying every round. I'm trying to think of what other promotions we got for people, but I think Zaz got an extra proficiency in quick distraction. I don't know who else got what.
Yeah, so for that one I spent my scar
2.
at least on Vertibird. Yeah, I got I picked up a couple of more just flyer momentum moves, and then I got I upped his flare, so now he's a 10 flare flyer, and then I rolled my table. I also got that, so now Vertibird has a finisher that is pretty potent.
Yeah, Moonsault. It actually works. It's very good.
Yeah. And for Rip Handsome, I picked up sudden suplex so that he could have something that actually damages people. And I rolled on one of the tables, and I got that you can add a proficiency to a move. So I added it onto Epic Battle Cry. And then in the end of Act 2, I believe, we got the championships.
We did, yes. We got 2 championships to hand out. We would have got 3, but Rip Handsome really botched that second match.
Yeah. So we gave one to Rip and one to Bulldog, I believe.
The clones, yes.
So
the twins.
Yeah. So Rip's Epic Battle Cry went from a +2 to a +4 in a matter of seconds. So his Epic Battle Cry is getting pretty epic and pretty potent for lockout plays. So that's sort of, I guess, what I'm building for.
The problem with lockout, and this is why sudden suplex was important, is lockout needs damage. It needs a little bit of break to make it really sparkle. And so having something like sudden suplex to put that break on is pretty good. But even then, with only one source of damage, there is a reliance on strikes. It's still it's a little sketch, but the build is coming together.
Yeah. I think if I'm to plan them out, I think I want to just now go into and just get like a crazy high damage, like intensity 5 or 6. Maybe I do pick up like power drop for the idea
Get a bunch of
of
break, epic
adding.
battle cry to lock
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah. And I think that might be the play for
Yeah,
him.
maybe. I mean, these machines have a lot of tough. They're pretty they're pretty crazy in that way. So
Yeah.
we at that point went, we've got time. Let's just do show 3. It's a big one. It's a gauntlet, and it's really it's a run killer is the goal. It's like, hey, if you don't have a good team, you're not going to make it through here. And it's very clear. It goes, hey, some people aren't going to make it out of this. The only way that all of your wrestlers make it out to the other side is if the first wrestler you send effectively 1v8s, because there's 5 enemies and one of them has minions with it. So
Yep.
anytime a wrestler is eliminated, they lose. They are immediately retired. They're done. They're gone forever. So, and there were chances these things could have happened before, but we were lucky. We didn't run into them. So it worked out. There was good planning too. But we went, it's time to
Yep.
send in, like, we could send in someone that we don't really like Zaz or Rip Handsome to sacrifice. You know, someone really bottom of the pole. But Iron Voltage is our starter. I don't think he's going to make
Yeah.
it all the way to the end, but
Yeah.
I think he can make it as far as he's going to get us.
And I think
go for it.
as well, this is another thing to point out, was this I think it was the first time we actually could use the onlookers, and we used it wasn't hacker.
You used
It was
Machinist.
I used machinist, which is special to this playbook, and it pretty much allows me to give hype to not only the human wrestlers but the machines, and also give them weapons, which we sort of forgot about that until midway through the match.
Well,
but
we used
it's
it
fine.
to great effect.
And
it mattered
we
in
did.
the end.
And yeah, and we also so the thing is with the machinist as well is he can freely give out these hype to as many times to either side, but as soon as he gives out his third hype to the same wrestler, he blows up and damages that wrestler, whether it be machine or for whatever reason. If you want to do it to a
Maybe
human
they
wrestler,
really
I
need the
guess
hype,
you could do that too.
You know?
I guess. But so our plan was, I'm gonna be an onlooker, and at some point when Iron Voltage is up against an opponent that is probably gonna be the one to take him out, we just blow him up.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the damage of that, Iron Voltage can just clear him out. You know?
And to be clear, the reason we didn't have onlookers before then, we had one onlooker in the Rip versus Oracle match, but to have onlookers, you have to have people who aren't participating in the match. And the thing is, between Nick and myself, we're pretty much involved in every match with our friends. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
If we had more friends at the table, we would have more power at our hands. But alas, it was just the two of us.
I will say the onlookers, the new onlookers that are in this playbook are pretty spicy.
Bonkers.
They
They're
are
crazy.
so fun.
I love the hacker.
It's an interesting dynamic to have.
So my question for you then is, did Iron Voltage make it further than you thought he would?
Oh, 100%. There was a moment where I was honestly thinking, I was
Go
like,
all the way.
maybe he maybe he clears the deck here. I'm thinking he might pull
There
through.
was a moment when the gunman went down where I thought that as well. So here's the thing. The first one we fought was Rotvane. Rotvane has a clause in it where if things are going really bad, you can sacrifice a wrestler to take out Rotvane. And I went, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to see if Iron Voltage can take him out on his own and do that. And luckily, he was. You know, he has jump starts. So as the intensity was low, he was getting a bunch of hype. And then once the intensity was higher, he was able to use it. I can't remember how I took out Rotvane with Iron Voltage. But I took out
It
Rotvane
was
with Iron Voltage.
we knocked him out.
I think it was a knockout. I think you're right. I think it was a knockout.
Yeah, because that was the unfortunate downside.
That's right.
To this.
Because
that was the misplay by us.
We always knock out too early. That's the thing.
Yeah, we knocked out the guy who we probably could have just pinned. Honestly, with Iron Voltage,
because then Gunman 21 came out with all of his minions. And they're very easy to knock out. But I had already leveraged so much drive. I'd leveraged like
so
4
much
drive in order to knock out Rotvane. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh gosh, I could have just fought for the pin against Rotvane. And I went, this is probably it for Iron Voltage. But the reason he survived was because of Nik's machinist. Blowing up Gunman 21, doing all this break damage to him. And then going, okay, I don't have much drive left, but with the little drive that I have, if we're lucky, Iron Voltage can knock him out. And if we can knock out the machinist, or if we can knock out Gunman 21, all of his little minions with their guns, they go away too. The Kingsmen, I think they're called. And so we were lucky. We took him out. He took quite a bit of damage at this point. He has like 4 break and 4 fatigue. Like he is really tuckered out. Unfortunately, Iron Voltage has a lot of reversals, but the gunmen have moves that can't be reversed. Specifically, the Kingsmen. They have the first move of each of their spotlight is just immune to reversal, and it's like, oh gosh, it's so brutal. And then third was Hangman? I think it was Hangman, yeah.
Yep.
Hangman is another one with this clause that says, hey, if you want to just take out your guy to take out this wrestler, it's fine. And I went, no, we can make it. We can push through this. Maybe, just maybe we could push it to the end. But it was dangerous because Hangman also has this insane ability where every single time it gets the spotlight, you have to lock out. You have to roll dice equal to your tough and pray that you get at least equal to your break. And not a 0. Even if you have no break, if you roll a 0 on a lockout, you're out of there. You submit. It's too painful to continue. Now, the problem is, at this point, Iron Voltage still has some hype in the tank, and he's got good hype generation. But you can't use hype on a lockout. It's just one of the rules in the games. You can use a hype on a pin, on a kick out, on ring out, all these other things. You can't use it on lockout. You can't use it on knockout. And so it didn't matter. And so we're fighting Hangman. It's a vicious fight. And I don't think I knocked him out. I think his was a desperate pin or something.
I think so. I think we got him with a
pin. And the odds were not in the favor of me. And in fact, I think he broke out. I think he broke out once. And it was
no, that was later.
That was the second guy?
That was later.
Okay, that was whatever, guy number 4 or whatever.
The
next guy. And so took out Hangman. Iron Voltage is still up. It's incredible. I'm like, maybe he can make it to the end, but he's so brutalized. He's got like 5. Basically, they need a 2 in order to succeed on a move against him. He is so mangled and broken. Yeah. And here comes out Guilty Blade, who is this guillotine of an enemy. And they have all of these brutal strikes, and they just knock out and knock out and knock out, and that is their strategy. And it was not long until his card was punched. until Iron Voltage was
Yeah, and
lost.
it's unfortunately.
Rest
Yep.
in peace. He did so well. And he even got some points on Guilty Blade. He did some damage to Fatigue. He really paved the
Hmm.
path for others to survive. And it left us with an interesting situation of who do we send out next? Because we were at intensity 6 already. There was no chance it was going down. So we can send out like our heavy hitters, and now Vertibird has Moonsault, so it would be a pretty good time to send him. But alternatively, we could send in Zaz, because one of Zaz's bonuses I picked up was a move called Get In Here, which allows him to summon another wrestler. Now, there's a caveat of when he summons them, they can't get resources, but he can share his resources with them. So it's not entirely bad. And if you have a 2v1 on the enemy machine, you can have some advantages, especially with Zaz, who can get all this hype and then baton pass, and there's no issue. The problem was we went, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, no issue, fine, we'll just use Get In Here. And we used it, and it was a situation where I'm like, I really want this to work. We need to get a 6. I'm going to pump it up to 15. No problem. We'll use Get In Here.
No way this is gonna fail.
And I rolled like a
Yep.
4. And that was really bad. And I went, we're going to lose Zaz because of this. This is like the worst thing ever. And then it got to his turn, and I was able to survive somehow. I think he got a knockout roll.
Yeah, I think
but
he missed
Oh, no, you're right.
something.
He did just
Yeah.
miss a strike, which is crazy because
Yeah.
Zaz only has 6 toughness.
Has like not
Yes,
a lot of
his toughness is almost as bad as Vertibird's, and he just rolled a 5. It was crazy, and it got
Yeah.
to Zaz, and I went, okay. So first move, quick distraction. I'm gonna damage myself, daze the enemy, and now I can use passive moves twice, and I'm gonna use Get In Here, and I'm gonna get Vertibird in here, and we got him in here. Wait, great! Finally, we succeeded. We get Vertibird in here. I baton pass to get all this hype up. I think I did something else as well. I can't remember what it was. But I did something to get hype, and then I baton passed it to Vertibird, and I went, okay, Zaz has got basically 10 hype. You don't have any, but you've got Zaz's 10 hype to Moonsault and take care of it. Like, hey, no problem. Just Moonsault him, and it'll be done. Right, Vertibird? Right?
Yep. And then we ran into the not getting resources issue, I feel like. And then we went, how we gotta damage his tough first. So the play was that Vertibird had this thing, heroic launcher, which would launch this guy in the air. So once you become airborne, if you're toppled, you can it affects their toughness. So we went, okay, this is the play. We'll send him airborne. We'll use a table.
Yeah, to also injure his tough.
Yeah.
We got his tough down by 2.
Yeah. And then we were like, easy. We're going to just, now it was all set up to make sure Moonsault, when we get this pin, he ain't going to break out.
No chance of it.
Hit the Moonsault, pin him. Spotlight passes over. I think he kicks out at 1.
He
right?
does, which was crazy because he needed to get a 10 with his toughness was like 4 or something, but then he spent his hype and he was rolling, I think, 9 dice, which on average, if you're rolling 9 dice, you're going to get a 4. Maybe even a 3, but probably a 4. He needed to get 10. We're like, this is fine.
Yep.
And he got like a 12. It was like, what?
Like right out the gate. And we were like, well, that was the play. That was the big play for Vertibird. And, yeah, so that sort of was the downfall of Zaz, at least.
I don't think that's when Zaz went out.
No, it was
I
during the
know. So
Reaper.
first
So
we
we,
beat him again with a pin. And I think it was Zaz who pinned him.
I
I
think
think
so.
Zaz
Yeah,
got
because
his
that's what it
first
was.
pin.
Because you've reversaled
Yes.
Hangman or not Hangman, Blade, while he was beating on
Yes, that's
Vertibird.
right.
You
To save your
took the
life, I took the
spotlight.
spotlight and I went Hail
Yep.
Mary pin. Literally spent all my hype on it. But the thing is, pin or cover is the move that does pin, the basic move. It has 7 odds, which is not good. And in fact, Zaz only has 6 tough, which is not good. But the other guy only had 4. We had hurt him so bad. I went, let's just go for
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, I don't know if this is going to win, but I have to do something. Because if Zaz and Vertibird get taken out, then we have lost more than half our fighting force. But we were so close to the end.
Yep.
We were on 4 to 5 enemies, and it was so lucky. Zaz got his first elimination of the entire tournament and took
Mm-hmm.
out Guilty Blade where Vertibird let us down. And this, for once, this wasn't
Yeah.
Nick's fault. I know every time I'm like, Vertibird is useless and it's Nick's fault. Vertibird is still useless, but this one wasn't Nick's fault. This was Dice. But still, Vertibird is
Yeah,
useless.
it was just Dice.
He's worthless.
Yeah.
He's never helped anything or anyone.
This is why Vertibird was my main, but now I'm a Rip guy. It's all about
Rip
the Rip,
Handsome's
baby.
my favorite now.
You know?
So we take out Guilty Blade with Zaz. We're living it, and we're like, we've got one opponent left. It's the Reaper. Now, the Reaper has this wild thing where he only has weapon moves. He has 5 insane weapon moves. And you get to pick which one he uses. And then after he uses it, you do lights out. But you keep doing lights out until you take out the Reaper effectively. And so first, he was going to attack Zaz, and we picked a move for Zaz that was quite bad. It was going to, like, double his break, and it's like, there's nothing we can do. Here's the thing. We're going to put all this break on Zaz, and we're going to hope, because it's lights out and everyone gets to roll. Normally, this is a one-on-one with the Reaper. But Zaz's benefit is because he brought Vertibird in, it's actually a 2v1 versus the Reaper, because only one person needs to succeed. And so there was this painful moment where it was like, if Zaz wasn't broken by quick distraction, which he did to himself because he failed that move earlier, wasn't broken by Hangman earlier on, or not Hangman, Guilty Blade earlier on, wasn't
Guilty Blade, yeah.
broken doubly so by the Reaper, maybe he would have had a chance. Maybe we could have had 2 good shots against the Reaper. But we didn't. Zaz had nothing. He was beat. He did everything he could to cover for Vertibird. So we put all our cards on Vertibird. We're like, look, Vertibird, you gotta win this lights out. You've got to do it. Because otherwise Zaz dies. And that's when Vertibird, Nick, he raised to the occasion, right? No.
No. it Dice wasn't part of that whole ordeal. I think he ended up rolling like a 7.
The Reaper rolls high, takes out Zaz, which is painful. Just absolutely painful. And we have to make the decision, who among the clone brothers do we send in? Do we send in the original Bulldog or the clone Rip Handsome? And we sent out Rip Handsome because we just felt like Epic Battlecry was an Intensity 5 move, right?
Yeah, it was Intensity... No, it's Intensity 3.
Terrible.
But as we found out, pretty much the blackout that the Reaper could do, he ended up rolling like 22 dice. But Rip, at that point, could also roll 22 dice. So it was just
that was very lucky.
Who can get the
was
bigger number?
A roll to get hype, which made the difference there. Well, made it the same.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The Reaper rolled much lower than it should have rolled. When the Reaper was rolling 22 dice, it was
Yeah.
like, well, we're kind of boned here, but like, let's see what it is. And he rolled like a 9 when he should have rolled like 13.
He got, as I'm looking at this now, he got 10
On
successes.
22
and
dice.
then Rip rolled 12.
Yeah. That's so it was
like
it was
close.
Very clutch. But they beat out the Reaper. They did it. We succeeded. We survived. But weirdly enough, 2 of my guys are dead, and all of Nik's guys are alive. Which is
somehow
wild because Nik's characters suck.
What do you
How
mean?
dare you? Zaz
Rip is
was
great.
the MVP.
Listen, I'll give you Zaz for this one, but Dice fucked Vertibird, and Rip is pretty funny.
Rip's all right. You know what? Rip is probably going to be the star of this show.
Yeah.
But Vertibird, I would trade Vertibird's life for Iron Voltage any day of the week.
Yeah, no, I'm
Any
with
day
you
of
on
the
that
week.
one.
Rip,
Yeah.
like I said
Yeah.
this. I don't even remember what recording I've said this in now. We've done so many today. But Rip, every show we do with Rip, I'm more into the Rip storyline. I'm more behind Rip with every turn of the adventure.
Yeah.
But we got our guys. We leveled them up. We made it through. And your reward for beating Act 3 is that you get 3 new members joining your roster because you join up with the Resistance, which is just extra sad for a number of reasons. We haven't built these characters yet, but I'll have to be clear, Nick. Zaz's whole thing was he was part of the Resistance. And he died just before the Resistance got to him.
I know. It's makes for great TV.
But it's so sad. It's crazy. He was the little gremlin that could, right? He was running around supporting everyone, and even when Vertibird screwed the pooch, Zaz was there to save him, to back him up. Vertibird would have died to lack of momentum and lack of toughness to Guilty Blade on knockouts if it weren't for Zaz taking him out. And Vertibird couldn't return the favor. It's the ultimate betrayer.
Yep. It's
And the Clone Brothers, still champions of the people, baby.
Yep. We're still just on top, baby.
Oh. Just crazy things. And that's Against the Machine, by the way. I know this episode is twice the length of the last one. We really should have split it up. But that is our journey through Against the Machine. We're not done yet. We probably only have 1 session of play left. Well, maybe we have 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. It's 4 matches.
We're hoping to clear... Yeah, we're hoping to get it through, but we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Where this story ends for us.
Last recap, as we did on the last episode. Did you have fun in shows 2 and 3?
I think show 2 was a good teachable moment for Rip. And show 3 as a downer of Vertibird's failings are. I still had fun.
Oh, I loved them both, honestly. I mean, show 2 was kind of like, for me, it just kind of happened. We got 2 like golden opportunities where dice went our way, and it was like, oh sweet, excellent, no problem. And then whatever Rip Hansen was doing, letting us down in the middle there, that also happened. It was like show 2, whatever. But show number 3, I thought that was a great gauntlet, and I'm biased because obviously I was in about 80% of the gauntlet. It's weird how I handed it off to you, right? Because I was Iron Voltage, and then I was Zaz, and that was the handoff. And then Zaz went to Vertibird and Rip. So I kind of took the first, I don't know, I took at least the first half of the match, probably more than that, closer to 75% of the match. And then you had to just clean it out.
I only came in for the clean.
You had to clean it up at the end. Um, uh, I'm gonna miss Iron Voltage. I'm gonna miss Zaz.
Yeah, I am too. I think
The real
I
question though.
said Rip has an IV
Yeah.
tattoo now for his memory of Iron Voltage.
Carried him towards it. It was crazy. The real question for me is which resistance member do you want? Because I'm taking two of them so that we can have three each. I think it's only
Yeah.
fair.
No, I'm
But
fine with that. Yeah, yeah.
I'll let you pick which one you want. Do you want the old vet? Do you want the prime time? Or do you want the young blood?
I kind of want
It's
the
fine
young
with me.
blood, to be
I don't
honest with
mind.
you. Yeah.
I gotta get a killer.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
kind of want the young
thinking
blood just to do
we could
something.
really use a wild. Because
Yeah.
this strategy, sorry, we're in post talk now, but I'm keeping this in. I'm sorry if this is an hour-long
Yeah, yeah.
episode. This is important strategy for us. The thing is, our plan going into this, as everyone heard in episode 1, was boost the intensity really high, regardless of how dangerous that is for us. Boost it as high as possible, as fast as possible, and then pass on that spotlight to someone who can make use of it. The problem is our one person who can make use of it is Vertibird, and he has done nothing but let us down. And I just really think we need a
Yeah.
wild to come in and actually be able to do that. Because number 4 is Act 4 is all 1v1s. They're cage matches between these opponents. That's whatever. We need some people who can win us cage matches. Like, that's the way it is. But match 5, right, is we get 2 wrestlers at a time versus the final boss. Is how it works. And whenever you get taken out, you replace whatever, right? Same old shtick. And we need, if we have people at the front who are going to give us the hype, going to build the intensity, which now we've lost Iron Voltage and Zaz, we've got to kind of refill that role. But in truth, Rip Handsome also kind of does that. Rip Handsome is a lockout guy, right? He kind of gets some damage early, intensifies, and in Intensity 3, just lockouts. It's kind of his game. So he's still kind of an early boy. But we need a late boy that we can depend on, because his name isn't Vertibird.
No.
I think we need a wild. We need a ringer to take out the final boss. And then I think we've got this.
I'm with it. I think that might be the play.
I don't know what you're going to do with your young blood.
Honestly, I might make another flyer to just make a better version of Vertibird, you know?
He shows up. We make this joke a lot, but he just shows up. Vertibird, huh? Who are you? I'm you, but better.
Yeah.
We had a number of those memes with Bulldog coming in to save Rip Handsome, and Rip Handsome going, "What? Who are you? I'm you, but better." As he takes out the mannequins. And then we also had at the end where we in Act 3 where we expected Bulldog to come out, and Rip comes out. The machines are like, "Who are you? I'm him, but better."
Yeah.
The fucking clone nonsense. God, I love that. I love that origin. It's so good.
It's so fun. I liked putting Rip's hometown as Bulldog. That was just fun for me.
It's good. That's our recap for session 2 of Against the Machine. Apologies it was long. We did a lot. But hopefully you will join us for our 3rd episode on the other side when we've finished Against the Machine.
I'm excited to see how this ends, where this ends, what we're going to be doing, because there's multiple endings to this
Yeah, it's true.
story. So hopefully we get an okay one to good one.
At this point, we're
you know?
guaranteed to
But
have
I'm
an
excited.
okay ending. But I will say, if we lose at this
Yeah.
stage, it will be tragic, because I think we have the elements of victory.
Yeah. I think so too. I think we can get a good ending out of this. So, but you guys will find out soon. I think maybe we make those other characters. So
Yep.
we'll talk to you guys
Talk to you next time.
whenever.